Hi, welcome to the Mintrain Knits podcast. My name is Caitlin and I'm the host. You can find me on Instagram as Mintrain Yarns, on Ravelry as Mintrain, and you can find our Ravelry group for the podcast as by searching the Ravelry group tab for Mintrain Knits podcast. I try to put up the show notes onto the Ravelry group, but I'll have everything that I talk about in the description box below. I am also the hand dyer behind Mintrain Yarns, and I have been very busy lately. So a little bit about the last couple weeks. I have been doing called Meet the Makers Market each Saturday at a local coffee house called Live Oak, and I am set up there each Saturday morning for a few hours, from 7:30 to 11:30 with some of my yarns. So that's been fun and a little bit different. So that's been keeping me busy, and haven't had quite as much crafting time, even though it doesn't take much to do the market. It still I'm still getting used to this new schedule. But I have finished a few things. I've finished, I'll show you. So I had done one of these coasters for the last in the last podcast, which was about a week and a half ago. I did 4 more, so now there are 5. I have 5. These are out of Knit Picks Cotton. I held 3 strands together. So there's lilac, sagebrush, and cashew. And I used an 11mm crochet hook. So I have these done. I was going to try to get one more, but I ran out of the yarn. So there's just these 5, but they'll go with the 2 trivets I had already made. And then I crocheted some dishcloths. So I have 6 here. And these are all out of the same pattern. It is called My Favorite Dishcloth. It's a crocheted one. It's a crocheted linen stitch, which I absolutely love. It is one of my favorite crochet stitches to do, especially for like home goods. It just creates a nice drape for crochet. It's a very similar drape to a knitted dishcloth, but I can do these up much quicker. So this one is out of Lily Sugar and Cream in the Cottage Twist colorway. And this is also out of Sugar and Cream in the Greens Twist, I believe. It's actually 1 row shorter than the other one because I ran out of yarn. Then the next 4 I did are out of Knit Picks Cotton. So I have 2 in the Clementine colorway. And I did these on with an F hook and this with an H hook. So, and then I chained 3 extra stitches for these, since this is a DK weight. So 2 in Clementine, 1 in Lilac, and this is also out of the Cotton, and then I have 1 more out of Cotton, and this is the Lilac and Sagebrush. So it is just what I had left of these 2. So now I am completely out of the Lilac and the Sagebrush, as I had run out of the cashew doing the coasters. So I have 6 more to add to my pile for the year, and so this will bring me up to 11 dishcloths for the 2020 Yarn Hoarder Dishcloth Challenge and personal challenge that I'm doing as well. Then I had a couple pairs of socks that I did on my sock knitting machine, and these were actually for a commission. So I did this pair, and this is out of Fab Funky Fibers in the Vibes colorway. And it came in 250-gram skeins. So that's how this turned out. The gauge was slightly off, so they don't quite match up at the toe. And then the other pair I did, I love doing sock commissions because it gives me a chance to work with yarn I've perhaps never heard of or just don't have any of. And it gives people an opportunity to get socks made up from their stash that they perhaps wouldn't have done nearly as quickly. So this is the second pair I did. And this is out of Peepaloo Fields in the sugared colorway. So, see if it'll focus. Oh, there's one too. But Peepaloo Fields. And then my customer wrote her the size information on the tag so that I knew exactly what to do for her. And then the last thing that I made was actually something that I did up for the market. Just to I want to try to add something different to my table each week. So I made up 3 different types of lotions. So this one that I did was called Herb Shed, and this is a shea butter based body butter. And it's a whipped one, so it's light. And I used vanilla, patchouli, and rosemary essential oils for the scent in this one. And this one is definitely my current favorite, but it's subject to change. And then I did one, it's called Mint Chocolate, which is a cocoa butter based body butter, and the chocolate scent all comes from the cocoa butter, and then I added some peppermint oil to it, and it does smell just like mint chocolate because the cocoa butter the scent is not removed, so it smells like chocolate, and it smells heavenly when I'm making that. And then the last one I did was vanilla, which is actually a much nuttier scent of vanilla than traditionally, because I used it's a shea butter, but then I used some sunflower oil as the emulsifier to keep it soft, but so that gives it a bit of a nutty scent, and it is just very pleasant and almost woody smelling. And I will be adding these to my shop actually today, so they will be available by the time this episode goes live. So I'll have them in 1 and 4 ounce sizes. So then on to works in progress. I haven't done a ton of work on my projects this week because last week I crocheted too much on the weekend and lost almost all grip strength in my right hand. So I had to give my crafting a break. But I did add a bit to my Find Your Fade. And I just started adding in the 6th color. I have 2 rows added in of the 6th color, which is this lovely blue, purple, green. It is from Black Sheep Dye Works in the Aegean Multi. So this is where I was last time I recorded. So I added a couple inches, and you can't even really tell that I have added in the blue yet. So this is absolutely massive already. It is already longer than my wingspan. I still have almost all the blue to go, and then my final color will be a nice dark purple, purpley blue. And that is, I'm knitting this with my Knit Pro Zings, well, Knitter's Pride Zings, with a US size 5, and it is living in a Lila Styles Doctor Who Christmas bag. And I don't care that it's Christmas and it's still in it because I love Doctor Who. Then the next project I'm working on was just actually also in a Doctor Who project bag, made by my sister, Anomalous Mind. This is my Spellman pullover, which I got probably about 4 inches knit while I was at the Makers Market February 1st. So I am just probably a couple inches away now from starting the ribbing, because I am turning this into a full-length sweater, not cropped, because I just don't feel comfortable wearing cropped sweaters. Love knitting them. I love the way they look on a lot of people, but I do not find them comfortable for my body shape. And the yarn that I'm using for this is my hand-dyed yarns, so mintrain yarns, in the Cabernet colorway on the Sweater Sport base, which is a non-superwash merino. And I absolutely love it. The non-superwash merino has definitely become my favorite for doing sweaters, which is why I named it my sweater base. So I have it in Sweater Sport and Worsted. And I'm knitting this on a US size 4 with my Knitter's Pride carbons. And then I will switch to a 2.5 or 2, I mean, size 2 for the ribbing. Then the next project that I worked on this past couple weeks, this got actually all that I knit was at the Makers Market this past Saturday. I forgot to put a marker in where I was when I started, but I was up in this, at the very beginning of this light peach stripe, and I knit all of this while I was at the market last Saturday. And this marker is just where my heel will go, because I was not going to attempt to put a heel in while I was talking to people. And this is out of my hand-dyed yarn, again, on the sport sock base in the Impeachment colorway. And I absolutely love this base and this yarn. I love sport weight socks. They are definitely my favorite for winter, because they give me a little bit more added warmth. That was the fireplace just kicking on. So that one I'm just about ready to start the toe on that. And it is actually, let's see, it's on US size 2 with Knitter's Pride things. Or I think these are actually Knit Pro things. I think all my fixed are ones that I had ordered from the UK. But I love the Zing needles. They are really nice for the way I knit, so I don't end up splitting too many stitches, which happens a lot with the pointier needles for me. Then the last thing that I have been working on is I'm almost done with this first sock for this pair, but it is out of my new pattern that will be coming out in a couple days, called the Birthday Socks. And I wanted to get one in a semi-solid done for the pattern. So I have a variegated one knit up here, and then I had already done one in self-striping, so I wanted to show how it looks across all three types of dye methods. And I think I have like 4 rows left on the toe, but I was just too tired last night and I haven't had a chance to knit yet today. But so once I get the pattern's all right to go, I just need to get some final pictures done, which is waiting for this sock so I can finish up the toe, get it blocked, and then get some pictures taken. Then it will be ready to publish. And I'm already have like 3 other sock designs that I want to get working on. And they're really exciting. So what I have been reading, I finished reading At Knit's End by Stephanie Pearl McPhee, while listening to it. So I finished that last week. And I just listen to it right before I go to bed, so I don't listen very long each day. So it takes longer to get through them than it would if I listen to them all the time. I haven't been actually reading anything of late. I've just been too tired when I go to bed. And then I did actually start listening to a new book yesterday. It's called The Scent Keeper by Erica Bauermeister. And I'm only a couple hours into it, and so far I absolutely love it. It is at on Reese Witherspoon's book club. So if you enjoyed Where the Crawdads Sing, you would enjoy The Scent Keeper. It has been completely enthralling. The narrator is wonderful. She's a different kind of cadence than I normally enjoy with narrators, but I have found it very pleasant because the story is enjoyable. I'm not going to say it's been all that happy, but it has been just enthralling, which is what I have been looking for. A lot of the books that I normally go to, which are mystery, like the cozy mystery genre, or young adult science fiction, have just not been really catching my attention lately. And I have been struggling to find new podcasts to watch and listen to, mainly because I have gotten so caught up on all the podcasts that I do follow that I don't have anything to listen to while I'm working, and that has been hard. And I don't like to have like a TV show on while I'm working, because I find that to be too distracting. But that is all that I have been reading. I did actually start watching a new show on Netflix called October Faction, which has been interesting. It is a monster hunting show. I'm not going to say it's like not nearly as gruesome as Supernatural can be, but it is gruesome. but it's hard to explain what it kind of reminded me of the feel of how Umbrella Academy was filmed in the, I don't know, it's just it was hard to describe what it's like without really giving away too much, because I think there's too much that I don't know yet to really give it a good description, but I have been enjoying it. And I did watch all of the new season of Sabrina, which I loved. At first I was a little confused because it just seemed like too much was going on all at once, but once I think got past the 4th episode, things started to fall into place and it made a lot more sense, and I enjoyed it. And I will actually have a new colorway coming to the shop inspired by Sabrina, and it'll be in its self-striping. It's all dyed up, pictures are taken. I just need to make the listing. Very excited for that. I think that is all that I have worked on, read, watched these past few weeks, or week and a half. And I have do have a D-stash up on Instagram, and I have a special D-stash page for that. It's mintrain D-stash, and it'll be linked below. And I'm just trying to get some, it's all good yarn and a lot of indie dyed yarn. I realize I have so much sock yarn that I have way more sock yarn than I need for socks, because I already have well over 100 pairs of handmade socks. I have pulled yarn for gift socks, and I still have a ton. So I have a whole bunch listed up for D-stash. And as I keep going through my stash, I will be adding more. So that is all there. If you like this video, please subscribe and give it the thumbs up and share it with your friends. Okay, see you next time. Bye.